Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Notes and Totes retreat class. I hope your summer is going well. I am Beth Maxwell, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and this is part of our Summer Palooza class. We actually have a Summer Palooza retreat going on, and we are featuring the Notes and Totes retreat and also our Cheers and Sips. So we get to make 8 cards in this class. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to jump right in. So those of you that have purchased the retreat package, thank you so much. We do really appreciate it. I partner with Shara Zicki, and we've come up with these amazing classes and retreats and stamp camps, and we hope you'll join us. All right. So let's go into what your package looks like. So I'm doing the first 4 cards, and in your retreat package, you have a bolt of the Secret Sea ribbon. You have a half a pack of the Boho Vibes Designer Series paper, a full pack of, and I forgot the name, muted palette dots, as well as your card kits. So I'm going to jump in. Now, if you also ordered your stamp set, which you will need the Notes and Totes stamp set, and you will also need the Notes and Totes dies. This is very important that you have this, because if you don't, you're going to have a hard time creating the projects. So we're going to get started with everything, and we'll get these things out of the way. I'm going to show you each of the 4 cards that I've made and the kits that you've received. So let's start with, and Sherry, my partner, has done the other video live, so you can see that as well. So let me go over here. I just want to see that I am live and everything is broadcasting the way I would expect it to. So let's see, home and my videos. So hopefully I'm live. First time doing live on YouTube, so it should be interesting. All right, so what I have here is our first card, and I'm going to show you everything that's in there. Now, all the measurements are in your tutorial, so you just have to open that up and you can read along, or you can just watch and then go back and create the cards. First thing I've done is I've pulled in a piece of Designer Series paper. We're going to use this one piece to make this cute little tote bag. You then, in your envelope here, and your envelopes are marked 1 through 8. We have a piece of thick basic white. We have a piece of cloud cover and Secret Sea, another piece of basic white, and a strip of basic white. So I'm going to show you how to make this fabulous card. We're going to start with pulling in our cloud cover Designer Series paper. Cloud cover cardstock. Now, because we don't have cloud cover stamp pad, what we're going to use instead is Versamark. So we're going to grab our Versamark. We're going to grab these cute little flowers here. Peel this off, and we're going to start stamping. All right, let me get a big enough block. Here we go. So I'm just taking my Versamark ink, getting that inked up, and I am just going to randomly stamp on here. I'm not trying to go in any particular pattern. I don't want a pattern to be shown, so that your eye visually follows a particular pattern. We want to randomly stamp, and then those ends there, we'll get a couple stamps on there. Again, have fun with this. Stamp all over your cardstock. Now, some of it's going to get covered, so it doesn't matter if you have a gap or you have some that have doubled over each other. It's all right. I'm just going to change this around my direction here. So there's some little areas there that got stamped twice there. Again, does not matter. All right. I'm just going to I have this gap down here, so I know that my little tote thing is going to be covered right there. So we're all good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to adhere this right onto our white card base, our thick white card base. So I'm just going to grab my seal here. I'm going to do this really quick, lickety split. All right. Sherry and I have been having so much fun creating all these classes for you. I'll also have a little video of some other cards that we've designed, so you can see some different ideas. And I'm going to actually take these 2 now. I'm going to just adhere these on. We're not stamping on them. We'll put this right onto our card front. So I'm going to put this at a little bit of an angle. I know people are thrown off by that, but trust me, it'll look cute. All right, so there we go. I'm going to put this aside because now we need to do our die cutting. So we're going to pull in our Notes and Totes dies. I'm going to pull in this one right here. All right, so I'm going to be using this. And I also need my little strips here, my bands. We'll need that. I will need my little, I don't know, ribbon, kerchief, or whatever you want to call that. And then I will need my little handles. And now the next thing I need are these tiny little pieces right here. And excuse my hand, I have ink on it from the previous projects I was working on. So we'll need those. So those are the dies that we're going to be using from the die set. And first thing that we're going to do actually is we're going to take our, and I don't really, it doesn't really matter where these land, I'm just putting them on there. We're going to be doing this die first. So let's go ahead, pull in our die cut machine. I'm going to go ahead and there's one thing I do want to do. All right. I want my stripes to go this way. So we're going to go this way. All right. I'm going to actually cut my piece of paper in half. Oh, I'll just use my large machine. That's fine. We'll just bring in the large die cut machine. I know it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but and I just need my plates here. There we go. All right, so I'm going to just slide that through so you can see what I'm doing. Now, because these are small, what I like to do is I tend to like to grab a piece of washi tape, or in this case, I use my Post-it note tape. I just got this on Amazon. And I'm going to slide this in here. Just to see if I can stand up a moment. And then I'm going to take these two pieces here, put them way up at the top. And again, I'm not being particular about where they land. All right, I'm just taping those down because they're small little pieces. I don't want them to flop all over the place. So we'll go ahead and do that. Make sure that this is on my paper. I'm gonna put my die sandwich together and we're just going to run this through. All right. So we've got that part done. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. So we've got our little tote bag there. I'm going to show you how it's going to all get cut in just a minute. And then we've got our two little pieces here. Now if yours, there we go. What I really want to make sure of is I have these little pieces right here is really what I need. So that one's stuck in there. So let's just get our take a pick tool. I'm going to leave those right there on that so I don't lose them. We'll pop out that little shape. There we go. I know they're tiny little pieces, but we will be using them. Okay, this doesn't want to pick up. There we go. All right, now I'm going to flip my paper over here and I'm going to put on my stripes and my handle and my ribbon. So I'm just going to just get it to fit on there. All right, just like that. I might actually rotate this in so it goes into machine better. That's the only thing I'm doing. All right, so we're going to die cut those. Now you'll have enough to make like 2 cards from your one piece of designer series paper. So our Boho Vibes designer series paper is 6x6. All right. What I really should have done is I should have put an adhesive strip behind there and I forgot to, but it's okay. We'll make it work. All right. So here's our little bits and pieces there. Let's get this last piece poked out. Now, the reason I flipped that designer series paper over is because there's a little bit of stitching on here. And if I were to do it on this side, I wouldn't see my stitching as well. That's why I flipped my paper over. If you don't, it's okay. You can still make your card. All right, let's bring in our card base here. So let's get some of this going here. So we're going to actually pretty much fold all this stuff right behind. This part I am going to actually trim off. I don't really need that little piece. So we're going to just trim that piece off. just like that. And I'm going to take and I'm going to trim these at an angle. All right. And this I'm just going to tuck right behind here. Don't have to do much with that. I'm not going to even tape it down. And this one I'm going to fold under just like that. So I've got my little tote here. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to actually just put my adhesive on here. And I'm just putting on those flaps. There we go. And I'm going to bring in my card base, make sure I've got it going the right way. And I am going to put my little tote right here. I'm going to make it straight. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two little strips here. And I want to take my liquid glue. Now I'm using a fine tip liquid glue dispenser. So I'm just going to run this down. And yes, you can make those noises when you're doing this. It kind of makes things fun. All right, before I do that, what I'd really like to do is kind of take a look at where my handles are going to go. And then I am just going to take a pencil here. And I am just going to mark where they're going to be. So I'm just going to put a little line right there and right there. That way, when I put these on, my handles will line up. Fun little trick. All right, and if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. It's handmade. All right, then I'm going to take my handles here, and I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive here. And don't put too much on, like that's probably going to glob out. So let me just kind of spread that around a little bit so it doesn't. All right, take this and put those right on your little strip, just like that. Okay, now those two little pieces that I said that we needed, I'm going to put a dot right on here and right here. And if I could have found my take a pick tool that has my putty end, I would use that to go ahead and attach these on, but I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. So I'm going to have to try and pick them up and use my fingers. So I'm going to go this way with this one. It's like a little buckle. All right. And it's okay. This one has a little bit of other color on it. I'm not worried about it. There we go. So we got two little buckle pieces there. Now we've got our little kerchief here. So I'm going to actually use my Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'll place one right here. One right here towards the end. And one right here. All right, so I'm doing them on the ends. I'm not doing them right there and there. All right, we'll peel that up. And we're just going to put it somewhere on the bag. Doesn't matter where, somewhere on the bag. All right, so now this piece is just scrap. You don't have to worry about that. Get rid of that. I'm going to keep my dies right here because I'll use them for our next card. And I need my sentiment strip. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. So you have a 1-inch strip basic white cardstock. You're going to just take your Daffodil Delight here. You're going to take your sentiment, and we're going to be using the sentiment that says exclusive, made just for you. Really fun sentiments in this set. All right. And I'm going to stamp it off to my left a little bit. All right. Ooh, that didn't stamp that very straight, did I? Okay, we'll just flip that over. All right. Now I stamped it a little better, and I'm just going to take my snips, and I'm just going to make a little angle cut, just like that. We'll close this up. And we are just going to take some adhesive. Just put it on that side, and just stick it right to the front of our card. Just like that. We're going to pull in our embellishments and sprinkle those around. So now I have my open pack that I'm going to use here, and it doesn't matter which ones you take, which ones you use. Feel free. There's so many different colors. I'm going to actually use some of the green. We'll put one here. I'll put one maybe down here. We'll put another little one over here. And we'll take another one and just put it right. Well, we'll just set it right there. All right, so that is our first card. All right, let's move along. And we're going to create this card next. And again, we're going to be using all the dies that we did before. Right, so in your envelope, I'm going to pull this out. Now, when you pull these out, leave them stacked like they are, because those are those layers that I try to put in order for you. All right, so we've got our thick basic white card base. We've got our Secret Sea. We've got a piece of Coastal Cabana, which I've already embossed for you with the So Swirly embossing folder. So that's been done for you. We're going to go ahead and adhere all three of these together. So now we've still got our layers here, so don't worry about those. We're just going to take this. We're going to have some more stamping fun with this card. And we're going to just center that. I'm going to take this one. I usually do use liquid glue when I'm doing something that's deeply embossed. But it's your choice on what you'd like to use. All right. We also have a circle from the Spotlight on Nature. We're going to be putting that there. I'm just going to set it right there for the moment. All right. Now, you're going to find a bunch of extra pieces in here. All right. So these extra pieces are for the different things that we'll be stamping and die cutting. So I have this one here. I have, that's Lemon Lolly, Daffodil Delight. Oh, something on that one. And our Coastal Cabana, and also a piece of basic white. Let's start with our piece of basic white, because we're going to stamp that. So let me pull in my scrap paper again. Here we go. And I'm going to use Secret Sea. And this time I'm going to change up my flowers. I'm going to use this flower right here. I tried to use all the different stamps in this set. I don't think I quite used all of them, but I tried to. All right, so this I am just going to stamp randomly all over this white cardstock. I'm going to turn my stamp as I go. So I just get different directions. And don't be afraid to stamp off the paper a little bit. That's fine. You just really want to have a whole bunch of images. You may have to go back after you die cut and add a couple. It's okay. It happens because, you know, you don't quite know where the die is going to land when you're doing this. So we're just really making a piece of designer series paper. Now, if you wanted to use designer series paper, you can. I would suggest grabbing a piece that has the Secret Sea on it. Only because it just how it coordinates with the card. Now, if you don't have Secret Sea and you have Coastal Cabana instead, use that. All right. So I'm just going to leave this on the side for right now because I'll probably need to stamp some more. We're going to take our little bag here and we're going to go ahead and die cut it just like this. All right. We're also going to be die cutting with our piece of Coastal Cabana. We're going to be die cutting our handle and then our strips here. We're also going to pull in our little water bottles. So let me get that. So these are all the things that you are going to be die cutting. All right, this and this. All right. And on our piece of Lemon Lolly here, I'm just going to use this piece right here. I'm going to die cut the suntan lotion. All right. Okay, I think we got all the dies that we need. Oh, I need a piece of my daffodil to do this one on. Now, for this one, I am going to actually stamp first. I stamped the dots, but I think I'm going to change it to little flowers here. I have them out. So I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to stamp once and twice. I don't know. I think those flowers are cute. So I want to use that for my little kerchief. All right. So just like that. All right. We're going to get this all die cut. So let's make some room and bring in our die cut machine. So our summer Palooza kind of goes on all week long. We're doing all different projects And just move this around on the paper where you want it to be. Again, if we need to add more stamps, we can. I'm just going to put it right there. So I'm doing this part first. And I am using my larger die cut machine because the width of that tote, I'm not sure that it will fit in the mini die cut machine. All right, so let's get that piece off. Now, all right, so here we go. I have this piece left over, so we can use that for something else later on. And now let's get all these little pieces cut. So, because I don't have anything stamped on them, I really don't have to worry about lining it up with anything. The only thing would be this is just to make sure I'm stamping in an area that's, or I mean die cutting something that's stamped. And then I'll grab these pieces and we're going to die cut everything at one time here. All right. Now there are two things that we need to die cut that will be from the next card kit. All right, so I'm just going to set this down for a minute and I'm going to pull it in. So from this kit here, we have a piece of Secret Sea that has adhesive sheet on the back. All right, so you want to grab that out of card kit 3. You're going to be using it for card kit 3, but you want to grab it as well for right now. All right. Okay, I'm just going to move all this off to the side. What I really need to have are going to be the water bottles. All right, see this little straw? This is a pistol if you don't have an adhesive sheet to adhere. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to grab my 2 bottles. All right. I'm going to put it on my plates, and I'm just going to have these 2 little bottles right here, right on the edge. I just need that, the top of them. All right. So we're going to run that through because that will give us the adhesive on the bottle top and the straw that we need. Because otherwise, like I said, it's really kind of hard to adhere that together. All right. So here they come. And you will still have enough to, if you just do the edge like that, you'll have enough for your other card. Probably should have made them a little bit bigger. I didn't think of it, sorry, before I did it. And all I want is this piece right here. So we've got that one, and we've got this one. Did I do them the wrong way? Okay, here we go. You know, for some reason, that cut the wrong way. Okay, I don't know what I did. Let me try it again. I think this one's cut the wrong way too. I think I had it this way. I meant to go this way with it. All right, let's try it again. Okay, right there. And where's the other die? It wandered off. Here it is. And we'll do this one right over here. I'm just making sure I have enough pieces for my other one because I cut it wrong. So what you want is the adhesive side down, and you want the cardstock up when you die cut this. Can't believe I cut those wrong. All right. Oops. It happens, you know, when you're doing a live, I don't know, there's always something that goes wrong, right? And crafting is not a perfection, so just saying. When you're doing something handmade, it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. They're not really mistakes. They're creative gestures, right? All right, I'm going to put that piece with my other kit. Move those out of the way. And sorry, I've got to sneeze. Whew. All right. Yeah, it was cut the wrong way, so I want this piece. And I'll show you how that gets done in a minute. And this one, I didn't cut on the shoot. All right. Well, third time might be a try. Oh, no, I think I got it all. Did I? Let me see. I feel like I missed a little section of my bottle there. I did. Okay. One more time. Third time's the charm, right? Good thing I have extra stuff here. All right. Yeah, and worst case is I'll have to just glue it. I'll just have to get over it. Okay, now I've got it right. All right, let's go here. Let's go here. Move that out of the way. I'm on my lunch break right now, so I have to make sure that I get this kind of cranked out for you. All right, there we go. Let's put all our bits and pieces together. I'm bringing back this end so you can see things better. So I'm going to just snip off this extra piece I don't need. I'm going to bring in my bottle. Okay. I'm going to take my take a pick tool here. I'm going to peel off that adhesive. Right. Then I can just pick it up and put it on my bottle. Right, kind of your paper piecing. Okay, so that's that one. Let's get our straw here. This one's always a fun one. All right, so just work a little bit so you can get that pulled off. And then this goes on our bottle like so. Right, just like that. Since we have this here, we're going to do our stamping. So I have those little flowers. I need to clean this. I'm going to stamp some of the little flowers on the one bottle here. So that's my water bottle. That's, I don't know, maybe your moisturizer. We're going to grab our Secret C and grab some of these little flowers here. We'll just grab a portion of them and stamp them right on that bottle. All right, there we go. We'll clean our stamp pad. If you want more, go ahead and stamp more flowers on there. Up to you. All right, and the other thing we'll need now is going to be our little water drops. So I've got those. Just trying to find a small little block here. All right, so I've got my water drops. And I'm going to stamp those on my bottle. Now, part of my bottle is going to be hidden, so I don't necessarily have to stamp it all the way down. So I'm not going to. All right, I'm going to clean these two things here because the ink is dark, and I know I'll put my arm in it. And then I'll have ink on my arm, too, as well as my fingers. Do you ever do that? Okay. All right, so those two pieces are done. I've got my little Lemon Lollies sunscreen now, and we're going to put our sun on there. Put those back with our Daffodil Delight. I really wanted to just do this card a little different and not use the designer series paper. Okay, you can put sunshine there. You could put one here. And we're done with that. Let's see. Let's put all my dies back where they need to be here. All right. So we've got those all stamped. So let's kind of get assembling here. So we've got our bottom of our tote. We've got our two strips. All right. We've got our sunscreen, our water bottle, our moisturizer. And let's see, what else do I need? I need my handles. Get my handles here. There we go. And anything else that I need? I think I got it all. All right. Oh, no, I need this one. Okay, there it is. Okay, let's get assembling this one. So I'm just going to fold up my bottom here where it's scored. And I'm going to fold in this little piece here where it's scored, all right? So I'm just folding that in. I'm going to fold in this last area that was scored, just like that. And this one. Reason I'm doing this is it's going to pop that up a little bit. So we're going to just bend right there, but I'm not going to adhere anything. This way it pops it off the card a little bit. It just makes for a really fun look. Or you could even put a little gift card in there. All right, So now I just got to decide where I want that. Okay, that's where I want that. Let's go ahead and decorate this. So I'm going to just unfold. I'm going to take my handles again. All right. And I found this to be the easiest way to make sure my handles get where they have to be. Those strips where they have to be. So I've got my little tick marks for my strips here. And I want to do these first. Which means they're going to tuck behind this piece. So we get this one on. So go right over the top, just like that. Scoot it all the way to the top, making sure it's even with the top there. We'll do this one. Now I've got a big glop of glue, so I'm putting it at the bottom. All right, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and adhere our handle. Oh, of course, I got it all over my work surface now. All right, just like that. Now this time I didn't put those little buckles there. I didn't feel like doing that. All right, so now here we want to make sure that this is going to hold well. So I'm going to use my liquid glue, and it also gives me the chance to, you know, put it there on this little thin area. All right, I'm going to take this. Oh, I need to put my circle on, so let's hit some adhesive on our circle. Put it right there. I'm just kind of guesstimating where I want it to go. We're going to take this and we're going to set this right on here. It'll be a little bit at an angle. All right, and like I said, it's going to pop up a little bit, and that's what we want. All right, so you can see it pops up just a little bit. You could put, like I said, a gift card behind there. I am just going to decorate this up, so I'm going to just put some adhesive here. If you wanted, you could make the tops and the lid here a different color, but I'm just, oops, I forgot the bottom part of the tote. All right, so let's just take a strip of my adhesive here, and we're just going to put this right on the bottom of our tote. Line it up with the bottom. There we go. Kind of finishes off that tote. And we have our little sunscreen there, and I'm going to take our little water bottle and tuck that into our bag. Right. Then we'll take our little moisturizing lotion, or maybe after sun lotion, and we'll put that in the bag just like that. All right, if this pops up, just hold it down. Other thing you can do is put a block. Okay, it'll just hold that area that's has liquid glue down. So we can set that there for now. I'm going to take my 1/2-inch strip of paper that we have here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Warm Wishes. So we're going to take that out. I'm going to take my large block again. All right. Now, easiest way to make sure that you don't have anything over your stamped image, stuff you don't want stamped, put a piece of Scotch tape, just like that. Don't press it too hard against the block, just saying, because it gets kind of difficult to peel it off. All right, so I'm masking the stuff that I do not need. Now I can take my ink, dab it up. Before I stamp, I want to take off these 2 pieces of Scotch tape. Very important that you do that. Otherwise, you will have a hot mess. All right, so here is my Warm Wishes. All right. Ta-da! You don't have anything stamped but the phrase that you need. All right, so I'm going to trim this down. We're just going to leave it on the 1/2-inch strip like that. And I'm just going to put this right here, right across the top. I think I want to trim the width of it down just a tad. All right, we're going to take some mini dimensionals now, or regular dimensionals, whatever you have handy. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to adhere that to my card front. Doot, doot. Get some of this out of the way, like so. All right, let's grab our embellishments and sprinkle on our gems. Where did I put mine? There. All right. So in this case, I'm just going to use my yellow ones here. And we're just going to randomly put them around the card. I don't know, maybe we'll put one right there. And we'll put another one up here. There we go. If you want to add more, feel free. So that is our second card. Hope you're liking this so far. Move that out of the way. Let's just pick up the pencil, take a pick tool, snips. Just kind of putting some things back in their place so I have some room to stamp here. Let's get our stamps cleaned up really quick. This is my little chamois that I'm cleaning with. I like to make a little decorative case from the stamp cases. You can purchase stamp cases and you can purchase chamois and make a little decorative one. So mine says ink stamp clean repeat. I thought it was really cute. These are some of the gifts I gave out this year. All right. So yeah, we do stamp camps and clubs and all sorts of different things. There's a new catalog coming out in September, so we'll probably have something planned for that. So get on our email list. You can get mine or Sherry's. And that way you can be informed of our next retreat or stamp camp. All right. So we got that card and that card done. All right, now we're going to go into another fun one. So this time from our designer series paper, I'm pulling out this striped one and this petal pink one. All right. Don't worry, you have lots of sheets in there. You'll have a lot left over. And then I've got my card kit. So I'm going to explain this card kit as well, because we've got some extra pieces in here. All right. So we have our, I'm going to slide these off, our card base. We have these extra strips here. I don't know why there's two of them in there. These are going to be used for, actually, these strips are all going to be used for our die cutting. I don't know where my white piece went for this. All right. We've got a piece of window sheet in here. Now I'm going to talk to you about the window sheet. So window sheets are just clear sheets like this. But we're going to be making some sunglasses. So what I did for you is I actually put a strip of adhesive sheet. These come by 6 by 12. There's 12 sheets in there. Super duper awesome when you're using a really detailed die. It helps you get these adhered. So I have it there. And then we have our other little piece of Secret Seed that we're going to be using. We're going to be die cutting there. And I do have the adhesive sheet here. And you'll see why in a little bit. Oh, I forgot to put on my, oopsie. I was just sitting here. I'm like, why is that sitting there? It should be on a card. Let me just get my dimensional here. And I'm just going to, again, put the 3 on there. Can't believe I missed that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You know, this is a great tip when you're traveling. If you tie some sort of ribbon or kerchief to your suitcase, you can quickly see when it's coming through the little luggage return. All right. Anyways, we're going to get started on this one. So notice this one doesn't have a tote to it, but I've got to find my white piece. I don't know what I did with it. Let me just cut a new one because it must have just fallen. All right. So sorry, I surprised I didn't have this in there. So this is 3 1/8. Okay, so it has to be 3 by 4. All right, this would have been in your kit. I don't know why it wasn't in mine. All right. Oh, you know why? Because I'm not using it. I should have a circle in here though. There it is. Okay. Okay. So we've got our 2 pieces of designer series paper. You can pick out whichever ones you want. We've got our card base here. And we've got our Secret Sea. we've got our little circle, and I don't need that. And then we've got all of our stray little pieces here to do your die cutting with. All right, here we go. So you got all your little pieces to do your die cutting with. Let's get started, and as well as these two. So let's get started with what we need for our card base. So for our card base, we're taking this piece right here, and we're cutting this to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. 4 inches by 5 1/4, and trim down whatever side you desire. I'm going to trim off this end. All right. So we have that. So we'll go ahead and put this right onto our card front. So I didn't cut your designer series paper for you. You get to have the fun doing that. All right, so we'll put that here. I want the petal pink on top. All right, we get that. Then we have our other piece of designer series paper, and I want to cut this to be 3 inches by 4 inches. So cut it at 3 inches here. So you have a 3 by 6 piece for something else, and by 4. All right. So put that in that. Let's go ahead and adhere these together. Again, you can use whatever sides of designer paper you would like. It does not matter. They're going to look cute anyway. All right, we'll go ahead and get this done. Ooh, and I got to get to... Okay, so we have that. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't do my stamping. I was going to do that first. But you'll want to stamp your relax and enjoy probably before you put it down. That way, if you make a boo-boo, you don't have to tear it apart. But I made it. I'm hoping I don't do a boo-boo here. All right, so Secret C, relax and enjoy. I'm going to go pretty close to the top. There we go. That didn't turn out too bad. All right, let's get our circle here. I'm going to need my ribbon, and I want to make a little bow with my Secret C. Now, I'm going to tell you with this, I have found that I need to put multiple glue dots. Normally, I can just get away with one glue dot. I have found that this needs more. For whatever reason. It's not silky ribbon at all. It's more like a mesh. So you just really need to have a good hold on it. So let's just get this made. So when I'm ready for it, I have it all ready to go. So I'll be putting 2 glue dots on that. 2 glue dots is super strength. All right, so I have this. I'm going to be putting this off to my side just a little bit. I can go ahead and adhere that right now. Just like that. All right. This time I am going to bring in my little mini die cut machine. Just because we have smaller pieces, I should be able to cut them with that. All right. So I need a piece of my yellow. And where am I? Oh, here. Here are my pieces. Okay. I need my beige. I need my daffodil. I need my, I need all 4 of these. All right. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to die cut various things. I don't need a really big piece of this, so I could really just take this and trim it down. There you go. You have some extra cardstock for something else. So I just really need a piece that's that big. All right, now for this one, same thing. I just need a piece that's going to go as wide as this. So we'll go ahead and just trim that one down. So you're going to have extra. All right, so I've got that and that. This one I'm going to leave as it is because I need to have my starfish. So I'll be doing 2 of these. I need my sunglasses here. And I need a seashell. And my seashell. All right, there we go. That's my little fence. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll die cut these pieces. Now, I'm going to die cut my sunglasses out of my window sheet. Okay, so remember, your sheet side, the paper side needs to go down, right? Because you want that in the back. All right, And really the piece that I need to have is going to be, yeah, we're just gonna do the whole thing. And then on here, when I do this, I just need this portion of it. So I'll do this portion, and I'll flip it around, do this portion. I don't really need the adhesive on the back there. So actually there's another square piece. Here it is. So on this piece here, you're just going to die cut the back. All right, this is for little hearts for the other project. So you'll have that in that. All right, let's get die cutting here. And I'll do the smaller die cutting so you can see it better as I do it. It just means I can't cut everything at one time. Although I should. For time's sake, I probably should. All right, so we've got this piece here. And you know what? I'm going to use a large one. I just need to save us all a little bit of time. All right, I'm going to put all the pieces down. You'll see when I roll through how I put them on there. All right, this one. I'm just fitting all my stuff right on there. All right, now let's see. What else do I need here? This. All right. Okay. So here's the first round. All right. We need this piece back. So I got that. I've got this. 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 Okay, this. I don't need a second seashell, so we'll put that by our other thing. I only need the one of these. Where did it go? And when you're doing the window sheet with the adhesive on there, you may have to run it back and forth a couple of times just to make sure it gets fully cut. So I'm just going back again, making sure it gets cut. All right, so I've got that. So it'll come out in 2 pieces here. All right, now I need this and this. So I'm cutting out a second starfish. And let's see, I need these. And I need a water bottle top, same like I did before. All right, we'll get this one through. Oops, that's not, oh shoot. That's my rims. Okay, my rims. My rims I need adhesive on. All right, so right here on the sunglasses, on those little rims, I need the adhesive backing on there. So we've got that on there. Why do I keep sticking my arm in? So I got these. Where did my take a pick tool go? There it is. All right. All right, there we go with that one. And I got my little starfish here. Okay, we got that one. And I need to run this through one more time with this piece here. I do not want adhesive on these. All right. So I'm just going to go through here. So lots of little pieces with this card, but it is a fun card. All right, let's get assembling our things here. So let's take our glasses and let's take our straw. So our straw has to go on this one. We're going to be stamping on that one. We're going to be stamping on our little bottle here. And actually, I did need to run one more of those through with the basic beige here. Just because I want to show you how you can make that bottle a little different. And we're just going to do it through this one real quick. So this is where I said earlier you could take your bottle and make the ends a different color. That's what we're going to do. So just sharing a little bit more what you can do with these dies. All right. Make sure I have this one there. Make sure I have this one there. Okay. Let's start assembling our pieces. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get our sunglasses here. All right. So now on this sunglass right here, we have adhesive on the back and the front. So we're not going to use that piece because otherwise we're going to have problems with that. We're going to take our solid here, our solid one here, and I am just going to trim off these little curly sides here. All right. I'm going to pop out these little hearts. So I have those. Actually, we could use that. You know, I am going to use this. I am going to cut off both those little excess handles there. These are not good scissors. All right. Now, I'm going to peel my backing up. Just be gentle with it so you don't scratch your piece here. All right, so I've got that. So now, like I said, that side is sticky. We're just going to put it right on top of this one. Just get those hearts lined up. All right, here, I'll do it on here so you can see it. So I got those little hearts lined up. Now we're going to take out the outline ones. And again, we're going to peel the little paper off here. Shoot. And we'll put those line those outside edges up. Right there. Okay. So there we go. There are our sunglasses. Notice I don't have any sticky on this side. I'm not going to need that for this project. So let's go ahead and take our water bottle. Shoot. Come on. I'll get this one done. And then I think we just have one project left. So we'll get the next project done quick. All right. Now for this one, again, all I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this centerpiece here. I'm going to just trim those ends off. Trim the end off here. I'm going to bring in my scrap piece of paper. I'm going to stamp little sun again on here. I feel like sunscreen should have a little sun stamp, right? Okay. And I need my daffodil. Okay. Put this on, and my lunch break is almost over, actually. I will be coming back to do our fourth project. This took a little bit longer than I needed, so I do have to go do a few things, but I will come back and do our fourth project. All right, so we're going to stamp this as well. So we've got our little water bottle. We'll stamp that with our... I stamped that the wrong way. Oh, well. All right. I just randomly stamped on there. Didn't worry about how many times, I just stamped. All right. Okay, and now let's see. We're going to take our card base. We've got that adhered on already. We've got our ribbon. Let's go ahead and grab our glue dots here. All right, we're going to start assembling. We're going to place this. I'm just going to use my adhesive real quick. Right in the front circle like that, at a little bit of an angle. We're going to take our sunscreen bottle, do the same thing right over here. All right, we're going to take our sunglasses and we're going to actually pop these up on dimensionals. That's why I didn't want that sticky showing, because otherwise it would have adhered to my cardstock and got pressed down, been a little wonky. So we're just going to take, come on, take a couple of mini dimensionals here. Right, come on, get peeled off. Pop these on right down here. We're going to take our seashell. I'm just going to grab some liquid glue here. I'm going to tuck it right behind the glasses right over here. And we're going to take one of our starfish here. I'm going to put this one up on a glued dimensional. I'm putting a dimensional right in the middle of that star. And we'll tuck this under the glasses right here. We'll take our other one and we're going to pop that one up on dimensional as well. Oh, I grabbed 2 dimensionals. Two. Okay. And I need my little thing here. We'll get our ribbon on, and then like I said, later on this afternoon, I'll come back for our 4th project, which will be a little tote bag. And I'm, again, putting 2 glue dots on. 1, 2. And I'm just going to have this right here, like so. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's not on top of my words. All right, so that is our cardstock. On the inside, go ahead and you can put a piece of basic white that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, or 4 by 5 1/4 on the inside of this one. So here are the first 3 cards that we did with the class. And our last project, which I'll come back for, is going to be this little mini tote. All right, we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me today. And I hope you enjoyed our Notes and Totes retreat for our Palooza. Gotta figure out how to stop this. All right, just give me a minute because it's not stopping. There we go.